Yo, what's going on everyone? It's me, Apollo, and I know this is my first upload in almost a year, but anyways, we're going to be talking about the first season of Chainsaw Man, released in 2022 towards the end of the year. Let's get into it. So right from the get-go, I just want to put a disclaimer. I have read all of Part 1's manga, the public safety arc, so I do know what happens after the first season, but I will not let that get in the way of any thoughts I have to do with the first season up until where it ended, and wherever it picks off in season 2, if we get one, who knows. So my initial thoughts on season 1 as a whole, I actually thought it was really good. Mappa decided to take on the animation lead for this one, and they made Jujutsu Kaisen. They're making One Punch Man season 3. It just feels like Mappa would take on fucking anything really, like any anime project. They'll just take it, to be honest. So let me get into the premise of the anime if a lot of you don't know or haven't decided to watch it for yourself yet. Chainsaw Man is about someone called Denji, who's our main protagonist. He gets into a situation with the Yakuza and owes them debt because his father passed away. And basically, he's a devil hunter, and him and his devil Pochita go around hunting devils, making up cash to pay off this debt. One day he gets betrayed by his Yakuza employers, I guess you could call them that, but his associates anyway, and they lead him in an area to kill him because they don't need him anymore. And once he dies, his pet dog, I guess, devil Pochita, gives him Pochita's heart and turns into the Chainsaw Devil because Pochita is the Chainsaw Devil. And basically, Denji becomes the Chainsaw Man. Pretty simple plot. That was like the first episode, really, but it's it's pretty simple once you just put it down, nail it like that. Whether you have seen anything to do with the anime or you know the plot anyways, because let's be honest, everyone on Twitter is fucking spoiling the shit out of this one. Like, you go on Twitter, you search in Chainsaw Man, someone will probably tell you what's happened in the manga, because it's a lot of spoiler territory to be crossed, and if you haven't read the manga, the first season won't really explain much later on into the first part of Chainsaw Man. It gets towards like the peak bit, but it didn't really, give much of what Chainsaw Man's really about. It's like a taste, I guess you could say. So throughout the seasons in general, in the episodes, in the first 3, we meet our supporting cast. We meet Makima, who's the main love interest, Power, who's a bit eccentric and egotistical, and Aki, who's level-headed and just pretty much fed up. Like, he gives off energy where he's just like given up completely, and he's basically the leader of the special division, which is the division Denji's put in for public safety because he's an experimental case since he is a devil hybrid. Power is she's a fiend, which means it's a devil taking over someone's body, and Aki is just a normal devil hunter partnered and contracted with multiple devils. And honestly, I feel like the first 3 or 4 episodes, like, they introduced the supporting cast pretty well. Power is lovable, Aki is the most sane of the group, and you'll learn to love him later on. He may seem like a bit of an ass to every character, but you'll learn to love him and his morals later on in the anime. Now moving on to the actual animation itself, because it's not an anime without the animation. So Chainsaw Man mixes the regular 2D standard animation we see in multiple other animes itself, and it also mixes that with Mappa's speciality, 3D CGI. And that may throw some people off because like stuff like B-Stars and that more will come. I don't really remember too much off the top of my head, but shows like that, it's hit or miss whether you like the animation, but I think for what Mappa did with Chainsaw Man's CGI, I think it was pretty good. And like it makes the fight scenes look really good. Like there's some fucking superhero ass type shit fight scenes, and it does a better job than Marvel most of the time now. My main issue with the anime is because, let's be honest, not every anime is perfect, right? As much as we like to think, Twitter, not every anime is fucking godsend. So my main gripe with the anime is its pacing feels a bit off. There's not much you can do with 12 episodes, I guess, if you're trying to fill out a big story, but for example, I won't get too much into spoilers here, but we get introduced to a character in around about episode 4, 5-ish, and like 2 episodes after their introduction, when they bond with Denji, they straight up die like an episode after. It just feels like incredibly rushed. Like you fletch out this character and then boom, they're dead. Like in the next episode, and it just feels like really off. And it's like something I pointed out, and I just don't really like about the anime. But one pro I do have about the anime is how fleshed out they made the main character Denji himself. He's a normal, well, he aspires to be a normal, average person, like live a normal life. He wants to experience things he never got to in his past life when he was working for the Yakuza because he was dirt poor. He wants to meet women, he's extremely horny for some reason, but he just wants to have normal breakfast, live normal life, and he feels like he's living his dream life even though he's working a public secretary. And he really questions his own morals later on throughout the anime, because his first kiss, someone throws up in his mouth. The first time he gets to squeeze someone's boobs, it's padding. And he begins to question his own like goals and think, are they even worth reaching for, or does he just want to continue like living his dream life? And then the fight scenes themselves, when the fight scene happens, it's basically like the best part of the anime. The fight scenes look fucking incredible in this shit, like top tier animation. To be honest, in my opinion, I think the CGI mixed with 2D animation looks really good. It's really brutal and gory because, like, what do you expect from an anime called Chainsaw Man, for fuck's sake, like, but it's really good. Like, the 3rd episode, the fight against the Bat Devil looks really good. The last few episodes, the fight with the main antagonist, I guess you could say, of the series, because, we haven't really gotten much elsewhere, so he's the main antagonist for now. The Katana Man, fight scenes with him look incredible. Like, it just looks so good. What I really like as well is how much effort Mappa put into this project themselves. The opening sequence is just chock full of loads of movie references to mainstream media, and the opening is just really great. And then the ending sequences, or like the credits and whatnot for each episode, normally in most animes it's just the same one, right? You know, same song, same like slideshow, I guess, most of the time. But in Chainsaw Man they did something completely different, which has probably been done before, but it's not done commonly. Each episode of the season is a new ending, with new song, new animation. It just looks really good, and there's some proper bangers at the ending sequences, and honestly I think they just put loads of really like unique details and effort into this project. It just all came together and made something really good. Now, how the anime community felt about this, honestly, you could just say it was kind of mixed online, really. Like, there was some people really praising the hell out of this anime, although it could just be people arguing about which girl's better, I suppose you could just say. And then there was people who were making petitions to have the anime reanimated. yeah, it's not that bad. Let me just tell you, like, there's some valid criticisms for this anime. Like I said, the pacing isn't as good as it should be, but honestly, like, it's still a good anime nonetheless. Like, it doesn't need to be remade or reanimated or anyway. It's still a really good anime, and I like really respect the effort they put into this. Closing off, I think Chainsaw Man was once again a pretty good anime, one of the best ones to come out of 2022. It has some minor glaring issues, but honestly, like, just give this anime a watch. It's highly recommendable, and I think you'll enjoy it. Honestly, yeah, that's it. See ya.